Welcome back to my channel, everyone. We're about to do a little surgery on Hattie with some E6000 glue. The only thing you'll need is a covered surface. I decided to cover the floor with some newspaper, a microfiber cloth to protect the bag and to catch any glue drips, and then you'll need the E6000 glue and a little bit of patience. So, as you may recall, during my most recent live, I indicated that I would be gluing my hardware on my Hattie because I had an incident with one of my large Hatties where, as the strap started to stretch and I was carrying it and items were weighed down in the bag, the lobster claw actually slipped out of that little leather piece that's on the side of the bag. So I got the idea of applying some E6000, which is good, on a ton of different surfaces to secure them. I have that video. It's on my channel. I'm gonna remix it into a short for those of you that missed it. But basically, you're gonna just apply a generous amount of E6000 glue. And I say generous because this first time as I was cleaning up, I actually applied a little bit too much pressure and all of the glue started to ooze out. And I also didn't hold it quite long enough for the glue to set. So learn from my mistake. On this particular bag, I ended up applying the glue 3 times. The second time I did it again, I applied too much pressure, tried to make sure that it was set too soon, and it came apart. On the third time, I actually applied a nice little dollop of glue, and I put pressure on the part that I'm holding in an upward motion so that it could actually have a really good connection to that bottom part of what I'm going to call the J. And I did that for a few moments, and once the glue started to get a little bit tacky where it had oozed out, I actually used my fingernails and the micro cloth to remove that, keeping pressure on that part that actually releases and moves. And then I just left it alone for about 45 minutes. And as you'll see at the end of the video, the lobster claw was secured, no longer moving, which means I am getting closer and closer to moving into Hattie. Now, I will leave Hattie to dry for at least 24 hours before I do anything else with that bag, before I before I load her down, before I put any kind of pressure on that lobster claw, because I want to make sure that the glue has had an opportunity to cure or dry, or whatever the right term is for E6000 glue. But the microfiber cloth is like a little magnet, so cleaning off the head of the glue, removing those extra strings so that it doesn't at any way touch the bag, is absolutely perfect. So you can see there, I'm not doing a whole lot, but it is definitely more secured. And if you are taking a close look at that bottom right at the hardware, no glue. I'm just checking to make sure that there are not any places where I rubbed glue off that it may have left a little bit of texture. I pulled a piece of lint off of that. There's nothing there under the bottom, but again, I'm rubbing to make sure that there's nothing being left on that hardware because it is glued. And there, it's done. I've got the gold duck now on the outside, no damage to the leather. I won't be able to switch that lock around, but I don't want to. I'm making a decision. I'm committing to the gold duck. And then I'm just going to move it and secure it right back in place. I'm still going to leave it alone for at least 24 hours before I do anything else, any filming of accessories, any playing around, any manipulating of the strap, before I load her up, because again, I want to make sure that that glue has an opportunity to dry before we do anything else, and put any strain on that lobster claw before that glue has fully committed to holding that lobster claw closed, or logo lock closed. So I hope this was helpful for anyone that Has Hattie had an issue with her? You can see there, that's the second attempt where, again, just didn't leave it long enough, didn't put enough glue. But I hope this is helpful. The third time is a charm. I put enough glue. You'll see me here in just a moment motion um, this upward gesture as to where I'm applying the pressure now that the glue is on there. The E6000 glue is kind of a loose glue. So for those of you that wear like false lashes, you have to wait for that glue to get a little tacky. And that was the mistake that I made on those first two attempts, is thinking that the loose glue was going to be enough to hold. Um, so when I did this on my bone Hattie and on my tribe sisters navy Hattie, we were in the kitchen and filming and talking and holding everything in place, and the time just went by a lot quicker. It's been a few years since we did that, and here I am with the pale blue Hattie and filming by myself. But you can see there I'm motioning to pull that back part up, and that is where it's creating the tension and the connection point with that bottom portion of the lobster claw or the logo lock that does not move. After I hold it there for a little while, as I stated, I left it alone for some significant time. And then when I came back, it absolutely was holding in place, but I'm going to leave it as it is. Have you had any issues with your Hattie? Has anyone else done a DIY? I'm going to secure my lobster claw and make sure that it doesn't slip out. If so, let me know down in the comments. And for those of you that are like completely nervous over this process, hey, you don't have to do anything to your bag that you are not comfortable with. For me, these are accessories. As you can see from my channel, I have quite a few bags. And I'm not going to do anything to my bag that I am not comfortable with. This was what worked for me. But if you're okay leaving your logo lock open so that you can toggle back and forth between the enamel and the brass side, if you are just nervous about gluing the lock, then you don't have to do that. This is what I've done with my bag and sharing with you the preparation that I'm making before I carry her. I hope this was helpful.